Hola, amigos! Brad Evans here for another edition of the Bring the Noise AMA across the social media platforms and, of course, on my website, which is always free. It's called thegamingjuice.com, and you see the various ways that you can get a hold of me here on this broadcast right stinking now. We already got NFL action underway, and Spricken Sie Deutsch, a touchdown. I believe that was Alec Pierce. Yes, it was. Absolute bomb dropped by Danny Dimes. And Alec Pierce has been a breakout sensation. Just splash 6 as Indianapolis goes up 12-7. We're going to see if they go for the extra point. I presume they will. And what has become somewhat of a high-scoring affair, at least early on, there across the pond in Germany. So, just a brilliant play down the field. The Atlanta Falcons defense had not really given up many big plays this season until right stinking out, at least in the pass game. And that was all set up by Jonathan Taylor, who has been a wrecking ball this entire year, already splashed 6 in this game. Yeah, the extra point is up, and it is good, 13-7. Indianapolis over the Atlanta Falcons, 5:19 remaining there in the first quarter. Hopefully your fantasy teams are already benefiting. Again, those are the various ways going to contact me here on this Bring the Noise AMA. If you have some additional fantasy football questions or general NFL thoughts, reach out via Facebook at Yahoo Noise, on Twitch at the Big Noise 78 channel, on YouTube, and Fade the Noise, or on X, where I'm always giving it to you there at Noisy Huevos. Again, on X at Noisy Huevos. You can also check out all of my content. I don't charge you a penny, folks. I'm not making any money off of it. I do it for the love of writing. I'm a writer at heart. So I broke into this business somehow, some way. They give me a mic every single night on BenMGM tonight. Hopefully you're listening to that fine program. It's kind of a mishmash of sports talk, fantasy football, and sports betting. You can listen on Odyssey and also on iHeart stations across the country, 7 to 11 p.m. Eastern time every Monday through Friday. Hell, I stream the video version of the show on my website for free. So check that out as well at thegamingjuice.com. What you see right there, all of my fantasy football rankings live there. All of my fantasy Flames write-ups at quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end are there. I'm answering your questions when I'm not answering them here. In my slow chat, just click Ask Brad at the top of the screen. Do you like sports betting? Oh, yeah, I deliver on that too. My NFL Tops Props piece is live, and the spreadsheet is always rocking and rolling. And folks, I love me some college basketball. Added the college basketball tab to begin the week, and we are already riding a heater in that sport. I'll probably get it all back, at least some today. But you see all my picks there, all my player props picks. Again, if I post a pick, I have actual money behind it. I always want money where my mouth is, so check it out at my website. It could really help me out at thegamingjuice.com. And you want to help me out initially? Well, and help yourself out, quite honestly, go to my friends at Betalytics. They have what I feel some of the best projections in the business, and it's more just the NFL. The Rachel Krychek algorithm is cranking out betting forecasts as well on college football, college basketball now, which I'm ultra excited about, the NHL, which is their specialty, the NBA. You get it all. They're at Betalytics, and I use it every single day for my betting research, my research as well for fantasy, because they do a lot of forecasts there in the player props market. So you can get it all in nice and tidy price, and use promo code JUICE. Again, that's promo code JUICE. They get 25% off today. So go to Betalytics.com and use that promo code JUICE for 25% off today. All right, I'm going to get to an abbreviated edition of the Fade 5 Countdown as your questions are getting locked in here on this Bring the Noise AMA. In the meantime, give me a thumbs up. Give me an A-OK. Give me a middle finger emoji. I don't care. Interact with the content any way you damn well please. And give the, the boosted stream here, that jolt that it rightfully deserves. As again, I'm trying to be an ambassador and a man of the people and provide you with service. Am I making any money off of this? No, I just do it again for the love of my audience. Hashtag Team Huevos and the love of creating content. And I like to talk. On top of that, wow, Atlanta already moving the ball nicely here. This could be a pew, 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 pew shootout affair there in Germany, as this one's really taken off so far in this first quarter. A guy that could take off, and it's going to lead my countdown here. Dalton Schultz, I like the over on 4.5 receptions against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Even better price. I got a plus 115, now a plus 125 there at BetMGM. Davis Mills going to be under center, and he's already got a decent chemistry and rapport with Schultz. But the reason why I really like this is maximizing the matchup. As you look at the Jags, they are number 17 drop back EPA defense, but they've allowed the 5th most receptions to the tight end position this season, giving up 6.9 nice catches per game to those tight ends. So I think Dalton Schultz, with a more traditional pocket passer at the controls, could be that safety valve underneath, especially if that offensive line of the Houston Texans struggles. He had a 5-catch game earlier this season against the Jags, and he has been getting 5 catches routinely. He's actually done in 5 of his last 6. I think it's going to be more of the same. Give me Dalton Schultz over 4.5 receptions against Jacksonville at plus 125. Rico Arena Dowdle is my next selection here in the abbreviated edition of the Fave 5 Countdown. I'll go with the alt market. I say he gets over 100 yards against the flopping and failing fleur-de-lis of Nollins. Plus 110. Grab there at BetMGM. I kind of like a many-time touchdown as well, but I think the best price I saw is like minus 140 right now. And that was either at ESPN Bet or at DraftKings. But I look at New Orleans. Okay, well, they're saving graces. They've been decent against the run, number 12 in rush EP80, but you peel back the layers of the onion and reveals a little bit of a different story. They're giving up 4.17 yards per carry, 109.8 rush yards per game, just to the running back position. And Dowdle, I know he's been dealing with that quad injury this week, but Canales has been managing it perfectly. They're getting him rest, limited reps in practice, and the ramp-up time. I mean, the guy has been a steamroller. I think it's going to be more of the same. He's going to do some damage. He's number 4 in yak per attempt, number 11 in missed tackles forced. So give me Rico Dowdle to get to 100 rushing yards. Should be a positive game script for the Panthers, the high-rising Panthers, coming off the highest of highs and winning at Lambeau Field last week as double-digit underdog. So I think Rico hits a hundo at plus 110. And number uno, one of my favorite pops of the week is Rachaad White of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, I grabbed the over, if you follow the always free, transparent, and public spreadsheet at thegamingjuice.com a few days ago at plus money. That has gone bye-bye. The best price that I saw in the over 3.5 catches at a minus 115 there at DraftKings Sportsbook. And I'm still, obviously purchased a ticket for that because White, I think, is going to be a point of emphasis in the pass game, whether on designed screens or checkdowns. New England's given the most receptions to the running back position. 55, a double nickel in that category. That's 6.1 receptions per game for you math majors that are out there. And you look at White, he's averaging over 16 routes a game. That's 45.1% of his snaps played. He's trotting out on a passing route, and I think he may haul in as many as 5 catches. So if you're in PPR, if you're looking for a flexy sexy option, shiver me timbers. I go with a Buccaneer and Rachaad White. Bucky Irving, when the hell are you going to be back, brah? Still dealing with a foot injury that's of rather mystery, to say the least. But yeah, timetable certainly unknown. And I'm not holding my breath that he's going to return anytime soon. Hey, this is the Bring the Noise AMA. Hey, I'm Brad Evans, professional jackass, right here at your disposal. If you have any fantasy football questions for me, if you have any sports betting takes, maybe you want to share or you want to ask, submit your questions right now via those various pathways on Facebook at Yahoo Noise, Twitch at Big Noise 78, YouTube, the Fade in the Noise channel. and on X, where I'm always and giving it to you there at Noisy Huevos. Going to be here for the next several minutes, diving in on your various inquiries. So let's go ahead and get after it right now. They're already coming fast and furious. We got George, and I think George has got like about 6 or 7 back questions and comments. So we're going to rifle through them very quickly. Good morning, Noisy Huevos. Huevos, yeah, eggs. I mean, if you don't know what huevos is in Espanol, look it up. You got the Google machine. It's your friend. What's the weather impact for Bears and Giants passers? It's going to be breezy. We got some lake effect snows that really have impacted the area close to the shoreline, which is where Soldier Field is. They've had significant accumulating snow already. Could be upwards of like 10 to 15 inches in some spots with that frigid air mass that's impacted the Midwest. I'm right here about 2.5 hours south of Soldier Field. There are a couple of flurries flying through the sky here in central Illinois, and the temperatures have certainly plummeted, and the winds will be brisk. 20 mile an hour sustained. You may get gusts as high as 30, so it's going to be more like December, late December, early January football in Chicago. So could be a ground heavy attack, quite honestly. So that could benefit Kyle Monangai, could benefit to a certain extent DeAndre Swift. We'll see who really carries the rock. It's going to be more of a Devin Singletary kind of game. Maybe Jackson Dart really leads that team in rush yards over Tyrone Tracy. But yeah, weather will have a little bit of an impact there in Chicago. And I told you, I warned you, he was going to have a string of a lot of these. Dang, Winter Wonderland, Chicago. Yeah, let's get it. There you go. I just broke it down for you. Good luck to you there, George. All right, let's move on to the next question, and it's coming from Phil's off Twitch. Oh, amigo, I need a wide receiver, tight end, and flex for PPR. Waddle, Kittle, Gatson, Parker Washington, Quentin Johnson. Excellent options. And Parker Washington could have another meaningful role, knowing that Brian Thomas is going to be out. Probably going to shift between the slot and outside with Brian Thomas in street clothes, but a guy that maybe gets 7-8 targets in this game. We'll see how much Jacoby Myers plays as well in his Duval debut. So let's see. Nina Tide and Gatson is in. I like Gatson a little bit more than even George Kittles and Bits, and what could be a high-scoring game there in a Golden State throwdown against the Niners. And then I will go Kittle with the flex. So I would start both tight ends, and then your wide receiver play, I still go with Jalen Waddle. You look at Miami against the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo, their strength has been on the back end defensively, but Waddle is probably going to see a ton of targets, so I cannot avoid the volume at all. So that's the direction I go. Phil says a backup question. Drake May or Baker Mayfield? I have Drake May. I think Drake May is a guy that's good for 250 yards and a couple of touchdowns almost every single week. Boosts the bottom line with 20-30 rushing. Tampa playing much better defensively there on the back end here the last handful of weeks. But that game has got a lot of shootout appeal as well in Western Florida. Sean says, hola, amigo. Hola to you. Half point PBR. I need 2 wide receivers and a flex out of these. Wilson, Metcalf, A.J. Brown, Swift, Vidal. Oh, man. A.J. Brown is in. I wrote about it on thegamingjuice.com why I like him on the over at 56.5 of receiving yards. I think he's got a shot to find the end zone as well. You can check it out, again, free on my website there, thegamingjuice.com, if you want some additional reasons. So give me Brown. Man, Garrett Wilson's a bit of a wild card coming off the injury. Justin Fields. Cleveland, you can throw on to a certain extent. I think that it's going to be ugly. However, I'm going to go Kamani Vidal for the other one. Now, give me the guaranteed volume. I know Swift is a bit touch and go. How much work is he really going to get? I got a gut feeling. Again, I don't have any inside information. This is me kind of trying to read between the lines. It could be a 50-50 split between him and Kyle Monangai. So give me a Vidal. Should see a more vigorous workload. Good luck to you, Sean. Ryan says, hola, amigo. PPR need a wide receiver to flex between DK Metcalf, A.J. Brown, Aaron Jones. We'll go with A.J. Brown for the reasons already mentioned. Mark says standard league, touchdowns or everything, pick your knuckles off the ground and actually score for receptions. Brah. Let's see, flex, Dobbs or Aaron Jones. I would go with Romeo. We're far out there, Romeo. I'll go with Dobbs. Also, Buffalo, Detroit, or could pick up the Cleveland defense. I just roll the Cleveland defense. Pick them up. The Bills are interesting. Tua has been a turnover magnet, but they're at home. You can run on Buffalo. Detroit, also very interesting. Marcus Mariota, probably going to be a largely conservative game plan there. I mean, they're a premium defense. All of them really are, but I think Cleveland's got the most upside of the bunch. Joe says, PBR, TJ Hawkinson, Mason Taylor, Chris Rodriguez. Really? Rodriguez is like in this? Terrell Jennings or Mac Hollins? No, on Chris Rodriguez, he'd be your very last choice. Jennings is interesting, but, will the volume be there? It's all game script dependent. And got Vita Vea to contend with. Mac Hollins, a bit of a dart throw. I go Hawkinson. Maybe it's going to be JJ to TJ a decent amount today. That's the direction I go. Corey says, hola, Brad, PBR flex, Swift, AJ Brown, or Rashard White. I like Rashard White quite a bit. Again, I took the over on 3.5 receptions. I think he honestly may have the highest floor of the bunch, but if you are like me, want to roll the dice and be that riverboat gambler, you got to chase the upside. He's got a pretty good floor as well. It's AJ Brown. Again, the issues I have with Swift, he's had a tender groin. I know he missed practice for personal reasons, undisclosed on Friday. But Kyle Monangai, Ben Johnson's come out and said it's going to be a hot hand situation. So if Monangai gets that hot hand early, they're going to continue to ride it. Now, Swift, he could easily get the hot hand. But like I said, I think a 50-50 split in touches very much on the table for Bear Down Chicago Bears. Again, I like White a little bit more, but AJ Brown is really a 1B. Jay says it hurts so good. Or Drake May. Hurts is just so almost rush yards and rush TDs dependent. It depends what version we get. Is it going to be conservative Hurts, or is it going to be aggressive down the field Hurts? I go with Drake May. I think the floor is a little bit higher and a little bit safer. Sean Uno Mas, I guarantee this will not be Uno Mas for you, Sean. You're going to probably fire for like 3 or 4 later on the show, and I appreciate the business. Flex, half point, PBR, Mason or Washington, not close. It's Parker, Washington. With Thomas out. Rob says, pick 2, please. PPR, Debo Samuel, Juan Dale, Shakir, or Addison. Khalil Shakir is in. I guess on Miami secondary is bottom 10 in pass EPA defenses season. Debo, Addison, Juan Dale, and the wind. But the Bears are, God, man, Alec Pearson, another big catch. Bears are so beatable. I roll dice on Wan'Dale Robinson, even in the blustery conditions there in Chicago. He could really clean up in the short to intermediate field with those throws off the hand of Jackson Dart. Ryan says, which defense would you go with between fly, Eagles fly, the Bucks? Bucks, no. Steelers, no. Chargers, no. Pats, maybe. I actually go with fly, Eagles, fly, barely. And those are all not great options. The problem with defense is you got to have Lady Luck really on your side. You're hoping for like a scoop and score, pick 6, because all of those guys, all those units, guys a part of those units are going to be giving up some chunk gains today and or tomorrow. Aubrey says, hola, Brad. Hola, Aubrey. Half point PBR sit 1. Rico, no way in hell. Brees, yes. Judkins, no. Brees Hall, I bet the under on 65.5 rush yards. Cleveland, they swallow the dudes whole. They are man eaters. Cue the Hall and Oates there in the background. Oh, here they come. Watch out. Yeah, I'm old. Hall and Oates still bangers, though. Brees Hall's got to sit. You got to take advantage of the matchup with those other players there. Chorus is a Dunze and 30-mile-an-hour winds or Metcalf and a Doom. DK Metcalf's interesting at the Chargers. I like a Dunze a little bit more based on the matchup. Look, it's 30-mile-an-hour gusts, Corey. These are not sustained winds, which means consistent winds, which could be around 20 miles an hour. It'll be a little bit breezy, might slightly alter the path of a football, but last I checked, when thrown properly, you're spinning it. It's aerodynamic. The ball itself, it can cut through the wind. And Dunze could be a squeaky wheel that gets the grease. I'm going to play him over DK Metcalf, who's been wildly inconsistent, to say the least. I'm watching Daniel Jones run for his life and then fumble. And it looks like that ball might have gone out of bounds. We're going to find out here what the call is. Yes, indeed, it did go out of bounds. We got about 12 minutes ago, 13-7. Indianapolis Colts there with the lead. Rogers says, full point PPR, Kittle or Gadsden. Gadsden by the slimmest of margins. I don't think you're going to be disappointed with either guy. Dave says, can Judy find the end zone? Yeah, let me put a call in. Yo, Stefanski. Get my boy Jerry Jeudy in the end zone for Dave, please, and thank you. Click. I have a funny feeling he does. All right. I don't, but sure. Why not? Bet on it. Steve says, hola, good sir. Hola to you. Full point PPR, please. McMillan out at 100%. Yeah, with that bulky hamstring, soft tissue issues. Usually always win. Slate with the high wins or Shakir. Khalil Shakir. Make it easy. He's playing on South Beach. Weather's going to be great, and Miami can't stop the pass. There you go. Romeo or Shaheed, and Shaheed may be called upon a little bit more, but it's not like Cooper Kupp is going to give it a go. So how many snaps will he really play? Clint Kubiak came out this week, and I wrote this down. Quote, he needs to learn a lot fast, end quote. Quote, quick integration needed, end quote. That's what Kubiak said when I asked about Shaheed. Yeah, there'll be a package of plays. How many? I don't know. I don't trust it. Give me Romeo Dobbs. Swift or Monungai at the flex, too. I'm going to go Kyle Monungai. I've said this before, and I've said this all year, folks. I mean, go back and check the tape. I think I wrote about it a couple of times on my site, thegamingjuice.com, and I definitely said it on BetMGM tonight repeatedly that Monungai needed to get the ball more. I was imploring it. I was demanding it. He's a really good fit for this zone-based system. That's what he ran at Rutgers exclusively under Greg Schiano and Flourish, and you're seeing the break tackle ability now. Is he the fastest guy? No, but he's an excellent read, react, cut back, which fits that system to a T. The Bears offensive line doing some better things as well. Ooh, field goal opportunity short, 13-7 still Indianapolis. So yeah, give me comment on guy over DeAndre Swift. Sorry, Swifties. Dave says, hey there. Hey, Dave. PPR, Kamani Vidal or Ronde Gadsden. Here I go, Gadsden. Again, it's going to continue to be a point of emphasis today, though I like Vidal a decent amount. Roger says, full point PPR, need one flex. Vidal, Henderson, or Garrett Wilson. I will take Kamani Vidal here as that triumvirate, all very close. Loveland or Fannin, you the man, Brad. Well, I'm just here answering your questions. It's easy enough. It's bone chilling outside. I don't want to go out there. I got to walk Kirby the Gambler after I do this broadcast before I jump on with my buddy Danny Klobinger and a Bleacher Report AMA. Hey, check it out. It streams on YouTube and on the Bleacher Report app coming up at noon Eastern time. And I'll post the YouTube link on my X feed as well at Noisy Huevos. Paul, to answer your question, I'm going to go with Colson Loveland. Yes, even in the wind. The Windy City, not known for its meteorological wind. That it was a nickname for that. It was because of the politicians that blow a lot of bluster. Yeah, look it up, folks. I have a history too. I do know that. Evan says, bad flex PPR problems. Jawan Johnson, Bam Knight, Jalen Coker, Pop Douglas, or Christian Kirk. You do have problems, brah. I'm going to go Pop Douglas, although I don't really feel great about it. Danny says, Daddy won't. Daddy gotta have it. Yeah, Sledgehammer special. Danny will follow up with the question as he always does. James says, which for my WR2 and a PPR, AJ Brown, Stephon Diggs, Garrett Wilson, Olave, Christian Watson. Wilson, Olave, Watson, bye. You out of the equation. It comes down to Diggs or AJ Brown. I kind of like A.J. Brown. Again, I wrote about it. I laid out the reasons why on my website, thegamingjuice.com, and I'm going to stick to those guns. His role is starting to get back to where it usually is. He's actually gone over 56.5 receiving yards in 3 of his last 5. Decent shot to find the end zone. Diggs is really close second place here, but give me A.J. Brown. Getting down. Hola, senor. Hola, Clint. Standard league, me too. Touchdowns, everything. Dalton Kincaid in. Gadsden in. Pop Douglas out, dude. No. You got two excellent options at tight in there. Alex's PPR pick 2. Vidal, Garrett, or McMillan. I'm going to go Vidal and Garrett Wilson. Again, I worry about soft tissue issues. They can flare up anytime in game. McMillan was a late pop-up on the injury report with that hammy. Says he's okay, but, dude, it's one leg plant awkwardly, and that thing snaps, and he's on the sideline the rest of the game. Jason says, hola, amigo. Hola. Is there any Kyle Williams value out there? No. Or are the Pats covered with Diggs and Douglas? Yes. Simple as that. Jay says, Daddy want, Daddy need, Daddy gotta have it. Yeah, he's calling for the Sledgehammer special as well. You get to hear that routinely on my radio show. BetMGM and I. Check it out. Odyssey, iHeart, those stations nationwide, and also streams on my website, thegameage2.com. So if you love me doing the Sledgehammer bit, I do it regularly on that show. Okay, 4-leg parlay. Bears over 24.5 points. Not in those conditions today. Giants over 20.5 points. Don't feel great about it. Dart anytime touchdown. Okay. Williams 225 plus pass yards. Maybe. I like Caleb Williams on the over on rush yards. Maybe played at like 20 plus. And you got to think about it in the context of possibly the conditions at play. Maybe take like Wan'Dale Robinson for 4 or more grabs. I don't like the Bears over. I don't like the Giants over. I know both defenses stink, but Mother Nature may play a factor. It's downright cold in Chicago. Snowflake still flying through the air. And again, you're going to have gusts up to 30 miles an hour, sustained winds around 20. It might suppress some of the scoring in that one. Clint says, full point PPR, would you bench Gadsden for a Manung guy? Yes, I would. He'd be it. Zacchaeus? Really? No. I bench Gadsden for Kyle Manungai, who I think will ride the hot hand. Alex says PPR pick 2. Slayton, Wilson, Debo. I'm going to go with Wilson and Debo again. Slayton's a big play receiver. Ball can hang in the air a little bit more on some of those explosives today, given the conditions. I know the Bears are beatable downfield, but yeah, that's a hindrance, man. There it is from Danny. Mandatory Montgomery, you jackals. A plug and play today. And a PBR. He's a plug and play every day, man. The guy scores a touchdown. He scored, four times in his last 8 games. So it's really, if you go by simple math, a 50-50 proposition that he is going to land his butt there in the end zone. So I think for me, that's the direction I go. I go mandatory Montgomery all diggity day long as an easy RB2 or a flex position in 12-team and deeper leagues. Get rid of the ball, Michael Penix. Oh, he's running for like a half an inch gain. That was not the wisest of decisions there. Pat says, morning, top of the morning to you, Pat. PBR pick 2. Swift, Olave, Waddle, McMillan, thanks, and Sledgehammer. Waddle is in, and I will go DeAndre Swift in this equation. Again, if he gets 50% of the opportunity share, again, he has a chance around the on hand. It's a premium matchup. The Giants are dead last in rush EPA defense. Somebody on the ground, and it could be both guys, are going to do damage against the G-men today. Roger says Detroit or Houston. I will take Detroit by very slim margin. Steve says a full point PPR flex. Wan'Dale or Rashad White. I will take Rashad White. Rob says Bucks. Man, a lot of defensive questions. Again, such a clack dice roll, just a crapshoot. I go with Seattle. I'm not going to take a defense going against the explosive and high-flying New England Patriots by any stretch of the imagination. Edwards said, should I trade A.J. Brown for Derrick Henry? Yes. And Addison? You get Addison as a throw? Yes. No brainer. It's a layup. Half point BBR, Shakir or Quentin Johnson? I don't trust Quentin Johnson at all. I'm going to go Khalil Shakir. I started Pittman over Pierce. Smack my head. I know I should have asked you and thegamingjuice.com. Yeah, that would have been a tough one for me. Quite honestly, I didn't like either one of the guys this week because Atlanta has been outstanding against the pass, but Daniel Jones is embarrassing him. Maybe, being played on a different continent has something to do with it. But yeah, I might have said Michael Pittman. I don't know what I would have said in the moment. One more, please. It's sadly come to this today. Hawkinson or Sean. Oh, come on. It's not really sadly. You got TJ Hawkinson. Senor, if you're down for the last block, would you bet today on Drake May, not mate, so maybe he is your mate, 3 passing touchdowns or Derrick Henry for 2 rushing touchdowns? Those are your options? You're not going to go somewhere else? It's a little bit better. You could go like an anytime touchdown at plus odds on a number of guys, like a Jackson Dart, which I got earlier this week at better than 2-1. I go that direction if I'm down on my luck and I'm looking for a winner. If you need something with multiple touchdowns, I guess Derrick Henry, because again, Tampa's been better than advertised on the back end defensively, but that's still weird. Ryan says PBR Judkins or mandatory Montgomery. I would go with Quinshon Judkins. Yes, I might be a little bit feverish. Oh, look, America, I don't have any hair. Any worries on the weather this week with Dart? A little bit. I mean, it'll play somewhat of a factor more in the kicking game. And Dart isn't exactly lining up with the arm. It may be more of like 150 to 170 passing yards. He can still throw for a couple of TDs. I don't think the win is really going to be all that impactful when they're inside the red zone. And Dart is always a threat with the legs, whether scoring, which he's done in 4 straight games on the ground, or just, standardly accumulating yards. So I like Jackson Dart quite a bit. Still ranked him as a top 10 quarterback this week, and I adjusted my ranks with the weather in mind this morning. Which are my flex and a PPR? Swift, Diggs, Garrett Wilson, Olave. No Wilson, no Olave. I'll go Diggs barely over Swift just because Monangai may get that on hand. And here he is from Leanna, Monangai or White. Leanna, if you're in PBR, I go Rashad White. If you're a half-point PBR or standard, I go Kyle Monangai. Honestly, it's that simple. TB12, BB6, Loveland, Schultz, or Otten. I'm going to go with Dalton Schultz. Again, I think he's got to catch at least 5 balls today, and I bet on it. It's real. Go back and check the tape. Sleek says a start 2, full PBR, common Monangai, KW the third. Let's see, Vidal or Travion Henderson. I'll go with Monangai for 1. I'm going to go with Kamani Vidal for the other because I think the volume is going to be there. I know the volume is going to be there with Travion, but you got to deal with Vita Vea, the man eater. Oh, here he comes. Watch out. OZ says Juwan Johnson, Fannin or Loveland. No Johnson. I'm going to go Colson Loveland there. Gut feeling. Let's see. Derek says Stafford or Dart. Give me Stafford. Ryan says Hubbard, Travion Henderson, the flex. Really? Hubbard? Come on, brah. Go Travion Henderson all day. Hubbard is just bench fodder for the rest of the season because Rico has taken over, baby. Just absolutely amazing, making me a whole lot of dollars in the process. Also, Keenan Allen or Addison. If you read any of my work on my fine and free website, thegamingjuice.com, and my wide receiver and tight end fantasy flames column, there's a feature story about Keenan Allen in there. It's all the evidence that you need. Ryan says also Schultz, likely or Njoku, no Njoku. I'm going to go with Schultz, although I kind of like likely as a dark horse today. Took him on the over 2.5 catches. Jacob says 12-man PPR and being 7-2. Shall I do a Saquon and Kelsey for Bucky Garrett? No. Do not trade for Bucky. We have no earthly idea when and if he's going to be back this season. And with the accumulated rust and dust, how much is he really going to play when he does come back? Is it going to be a slow ramp up? He can't take the risk when you have, I know Saquon's been a massive disappointment, but Kelsey's still getting it done. No, dude, I'm not doing that at all. So hold on to what you have. Alex says PPR, pick 1. Aaron Jones, Singletary, Chubb, or DeMercado. I'll take Aaron Jones, even though he's a little bit banged up. Vidal or DeMercado or tequila shot. I go with Vidal, brah. That's not much of a tequila shot. In fact, it's a pretty damn good tasting, like middle of the shelf tequila. That ain't going to burn on the back end. By the way, I'm Brad Evans. Hi, folks. Hi, America. I'm bringing the noise as I always do. Another AMA going down right now. I know a lot of you are already watching the action across the pond. And sprechen Sie Deutsch for all the Schnitzel. It's about all the German I know in Gesundheit and various German beers. That action going on right now in Berlin, 13-7, Indianapolis over Atlanta. Scoring's kind of come to a halt. We're under 7 minutes to go in that first half. It was a lively first quarter, not only for Daniel Jones and Alec Pierce, but also Jonathan Taylor. Man, that guy has been the steam engine all season long. Congratulations if you stole him in your fantasy drafts, because he's been indispensable. I have been a couple of leagues, and I thank God for him, because the rest of my team kind of sucks due to the rash of injuries that I've been suffering from all year. Anyway, I'm here to answer your questions for the next few minutes, if you have any. Submit them via Facebook, Yahoo Noise, on Twitch at Big Noise 78, YouTube at the Fade the Noise channel, and on X, where I'm always giving it to you there, at Noisy Huevos. Again, on X, at Noisy Huevos. Also, go to my free site. It's called Betalytics, or not Betalytics. I'm going to tell you about Betalytics in a minute. It's called thegamingjuice.com. I'm creating all kinds of content. I do for the love of writing and content creation. I'm literally not making any money on the site whatsoever. I don't charge you either. I don't have a subscription. I've debated doing that. I may do it in the future to make it worth my while, so I don't get heat here at home of, why are you putting so much time and effort for nothing? Well, it's something. It's speaking to my audience, keep me sharp as a writer, which I love. I'm most decorated writer. See the trophies above me there in fantasy, sports, history. And I'm very thankful for what I do for a living. And I, want to continue to exercise the brain and come up with the fun writing angles. And I do that there at thegamingjuice.com. All fantasy football, a whole bunch of sports betting as well. College basketball, got to be around the corner. I'm already throwing out some picks. Been watching that sport thoroughly since it tipped off just a few days ago. My bracket big board will be back sometime probably mid to late January is when I usually dust it off, spruce it up, and get it ready for the stretch run into March Madness. Nate Lundy's got his free spreadsheet of NHL picks there. The college football forecast from Matt Fortuna. Nate Jacobson have been win-seam posts on the side every single week. I edit everything. I build everything. I write almost everything. Go to thegamingjuice.com. I answer your fantasy questions there throughout the week as well. Click Ask Brad. Again, sign up for a free account. All it's required is an email. You can even make one up. And I still think you'll get the account, and then, you can ask me questions and interact with the content. Really would appreciate it. Also would appreciate you going to Betalytics.com, fools, and use promo code JUICE. Again, promo code JUICE for 25% off. I use that site every single day for all of my projections, all of my various betting plays, fantasy football thoughts. They got it all. Rachel Krychek and the team really crushing it there. And they got a brand new app. It came out a couple of weeks ago. So download it, use it. They do a tremendous job at Betalytics. Use promo code JUICE for 25% off right stinking now. All right, let's get back to a couple of the questions that have come in. And let's start off with Mark. Mark says, half point VR, Wandale or Jacoby. I mean, how many snaps is Myers really going to play? Does he know the system? Does Liam Cohen have supreme confidence in him? I mean, these are all questions that we have. And I know Brian Thomas is out, maybe forced into some, earlier than expected increased action, but I'll take Wandale, even the breezy conditions can clean up there in the short to intermediate field. Sean says, gracias for the gaming juice. Enjoying the content, and I appreciate you enjoying that content, Sean. Again, everybody, please check out the site. I put a lot of blood, sweat, and beers into it. And I always write everything in it like an infotainment style. I throw in some pop culture references on occasion, kind of dress it up. It's not just like AI generated nonsense, which there are way too many writers that are doing that nowadays. I actually like to have a little bit of a creative zeal to it. It keeps me interested and hopefully keeps my audience intrigued as well. Appreciate the shout out there, Sean. Ron Dale says, Williams or Rashad White? I'm assuming this is Kyron Williams. I like White in PPR, but Kyron Williams got to see a vigorous workload. He got potential high scoring affair there with that total right around 50 right now at BetMGM. I'm going to go with Kyron. How's the weather in Chicago? Well, I don't live in Chicago. I live 2 hours south. Much different than, in fact, a completely different climate zone based on the Köppen classification of climates. Weather near, look, right there along the lake shore and getting some lake effect snows. I mean, there's decent accumulating snow to say the least. In some spots, they were estimating up maybe of 20 inches, believe it or not. I don't know. I can't look outside and check my weather rock right now at Soldier Field. Lake effect snow is expected to move out during the game, if not before the game. You do have some blustery conditions. Ooh, looks like a touchdown, Atlanta. Drake London, the other Drake. Brilliant catch, getting up rather slowly as, he scores, and a game right now tied up. Awesome catch by Drake London. London calling there in Germany off the hand of Michael Penix. Atlanta could go up 14-13 there across the pond. But yeah, the weather in Chicago, breezy, sustained winds around 20 miles an hour. Not that big of a deal. Gusts at 30. Okay. May alter a football or two, but not dramatically so. So there's your weather update. Pivoted from Caleb to Darnold. I probably would have stuck with Caleb, but if you're worried about it, I understand. I've been following you since in SXM days. Appreciate you. Hey, I got a radio show. I do it every single night across the country. I think we're airing on like over 100 stations nationwide. iHeart and Odyssey stations. You can stream the show via various apps. You can also stream the video version of the show, interact with the show at thegamingjuice.com. It's called BetMGM tonight. So hopefully you're going to be tuning in to that. Thanks, Sean. Kirk says Sam Darnold, Caleb Williams, or Jackson Dart. I go Caleb Williams still. Even in the blustery and chilly conditions there in Chicago. All right, it appears I've exhausted all of your questions, so I'm going to go and close up shop. I got to go out and brave the chill in my own right and walk Kirby the Gambler. And don't worry, folks, if you want your questions answered, I'm here every single Sunday. From this time, we usually go 45 minutes or an hour, depending upon how many you interact with me, how many questions really roll through. And I got more answers to your questions coming up on the Bleacher Report AMA stream as well. I do with the outstanding Danny Kluppinger. Also streams on YouTube. And that's going to be at noon Eastern, 11 o'clock Central Time, or Illini time is what I like to call it. So various ways you can interact with me there. You can always interact on my website as well, and thegamingjuice.com. Oh, we got one more question that did come in. I'll go and answer from Roger. I think this is like the 7th or 8th question I've answered. Roger, I basically have given you every single piece of advice I possibly can. Here's your last one. Vidal or Henderson? Kamani, Vidal, under the prime time lights. And I'm sick of watching Aaron Rodgers in those island game scenarios. But America may disagree. So there you have it. All right, I'm going to exit stage left. Again, go to my website, fools, and sign up for a free account. It's called thegamingjuice.com. Cranking out all kinds of what I feel is really good content there. And we're featuring some additional writers as well, especially in college football with Nate Jacobson, Ben Wittenstein, and Matt Fortuna. Nate Lundy's free spreadsheet lives there if you like the NHL. Again, I don't charge you anything. Hopefully one day I'll make some money off of it and make it meaningful. But for now, we're still open for business and will be through the end of the NFL regular season. And I got college basketball picks posted now on the spreadsheet. There's a little tab there at the bottom. Check it out at thegamingjuice.com. Good luck in all of your fantasy, football, and sports betting endeavors. And until next time, adios, amigos. Sprechen Sie Deutsch.